Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Steve,
And I'm Ryan.
and welcome to another episode of The Last Podcast You'd Want. How are we doing, everybody? I know it's been a minute since I've put out an episode. Ryan, welcome back again.
I'm here. It's me.
And we're happy to have you. We
Thanks.
we have seen some great movies. I'm going to pull up the list that you had sent me.
Are you only seeing good movies or are you just seeing all movies?
I'm seeing all movies.
I
I'm catching up on movies that I haven't that might have come out a year or two ago, or movies that I'm just seeing for the first time. Like I just watched Escape Room and Escape Room Tournament of Champions, and one of those came out in 2021, and one of those
yeah.
like just came out last year. Like they all came; those two came out within the last like 5. I'm just watching a lot of movies.
Nice.
What about yourself? What are you watching? Good, bad, everything, all around?
I'm just kind of seeing a lot of stuff. I mean, I've got AMC A List. This is not a plug, not sponsored, but
No.
it's
Same
worth
here.
the money if you're going more than twice a month at least to the movies, which I go. I mean, I go several times a week sometimes.
Sure.
It's so worth it. It's $25 a month, and I get my money's worth. And then I'm watching movies at home too. I joined a movie club this year, and we have a every other week we have a movie that we watch and discuss, and some good stuff. Like the other day, or a couple weeks ago, we did The Fugitive, which I had not seen in a long time, and that movie is still good.
I don't
Still good.
care. I don't care.
That's from the movie, guys. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen The Fugitive,
My brother will straight
but
text me a gif of Harrison Ford going, "I didn't kill my wife."
I
And
don't
there's
care.
straight a gif of Tommy Wilson going, "I don't care." Like, I don't care. Like, those are the conversations we
Tommy Lee
have.
Jones.
Who'd I say?
I think he said Tommy Wilson.
I did. That's my boy Tommy Wilson, former guest of the show. Got
Nice.
Tommy on the mind. Yeah,
Got
Tommy
Tommy
Lee
on the
Jones.
mind.
I do. He's a good dude. That Tommy Wilson. I'm his manager in the world of professional wrestling, which is
Now
why
is he a man or is he a boy? Can you call him a Tommy boy or is he a Tommy man?
he is both. He could be very much a Tommy boy and a Tommy man. Boy, we have both seen a lot of great movies. Some that have been talked on the show, some that have been not talked on the show. I just today watched with Tiffany, and she did not really enjoy the movie. She enjoyed 12 Monkeys more than she enjoyed Asteroid City.
Oh wow. I loved Asteroid City.
I really enjoyed Asteroid
Oh
City.
man, that was
I'm not
a
I'm
special movie.
I'm not going to lie. Okay, so folks, before we get into it, we are going to be talking about a handful of movies, some very short and quick to the point, maybe some at length. But with that being said, wow, I love this top six in the box office. Number 6 coming in at 5.8 million, Haunted Mansion. Number 5, 6.5 million, a movie that I'm probably going to try and catch before it leaves the theaters, The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Coming in at number 4 with 13 million, another movie I want to check out before it leaves, Meg 2, The Trench. Coming in at number 3 with 15 million, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. Coming in at number 2, Oppenheimer with 19 million, and holding strong at number 1, Barbie with 34 million.
Barbie just surpassed Batman for I think the WB's biggest
The highest
movies.
ranking, yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I love it. I thought we'll get into Barbie definitely.
Yeah.
I loved Barbie though. I thought it was really great. But let's get into really fast Asteroid City.
Sure.
I will start by saying I really did love it, but they definitely presented the trailer differently than the actual premise of the movie. The
For
whole
sure.
stage play Bryan Cranston thing really threw me off at first. I was actually almost completely turned off from the film.
Oh
But
wow.
then they started doing the nice cue cards of the acts. And I dug that because I just recently started writing movie, scripts like that
Yeah.
and seeing all of that. And I ended up enjoying and really loving the film.
Yeah, I liked the framing device a lot. It took me by surprise. I thought it was going to be a simple movie of these people in a desert town, and no, there was layers, man. There was layers and layers, and some things that were like super meta commentary. Some were just like straight winks at the camera. Like I think at one point a character does just wink at the camera.
I want to say it's the cowboy.
It is very, very on the nose and just perfect in my opinion. That's what I go to a Wes Anderson movie for. You know, yeah, the cast, the wackiness, the props, the framing of it, how it just looks unreal. It looks like nothing else you've ever seen. You know,
sure.
And yeah, I think it's weird, like the AI thing's taking off now where people are doing like trailers for movies in Wes Anderson style. And they all kind of get the gist of it. But until you see like a Wes Anderson movie, it's like, oh yeah, I mean, he has his own quirks, but when they work together, like it really
works. There's not a Wes Anderson film that he's made that I have not liked. Like I go online and I read comments and some people are like, I couldn't stand the French Dispatch. Asteroid City was a complete miss. And I'm like, no, every single one of his films is fun and is entertaining because he knows what he's doing. And fun fact, Wes Anderson hates those videos.
Oh yeah, I would too. If I were an auteur as he is, I feel I would hate those AI videos. And I generally am kind of anti AI, so not really liking the trend where things are going.
I'm not either am I. I do not like these, like, here's Hank Williams singing Straight Outta Compton, here's Frank Sinatra singing PIMP. I'm like, we don't need that. No one's asking for that. You know what I mean? If you want to hear it, just get an impersonator. Just get an impersonator to sing it for you, and that's how you get it. You don't need AI.
I was kind of interested at first when it first started kind of popping up. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I started to actually think about what this means for like humanity and like the future of elections.
James Cameron warned us about this back in 1982?
Yeah. It's and we're just feeding into it because I just read this book a couple months ago called The Candy House. And in the book, the premise is that when we're kids, we're told don't trust a candy house, right? You see a house of candy, don't trust it. But now our culture is all about, taking candy from the candy house because we get something in return. We get a little laugh about this and that, but then we're really like, we're fueling our own demise, I think. And I'm sorry to make this apocalyptic on your podcast, but that's how I feel.
No, it's great. And it kind of goes right into the next movie that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, sorry, this is a little tangent, but did you watch Secret Invasion on Disney Plus?
I did.
Yeah, I really did not like that.
I was not the biggest fan of it. I felt that I don't understand where it's taking us from here.
It was all just so confusing to me. I was like, how did this cost so much money? It looked like crap, and it really didn't have the intrigue I was going into it for. I thought it was gonna be a spy thriller. It was not.
It wasn't. And then at some point, apparently, they used that final fight. It took me like 2-3 minutes into it to be like, oh, that's the power of Groot, and like when she made her arm Drax. And apparently, at some point, they had the power of Quake from the Avengers TV show.
Yeah, they just were throwing anything.
Or the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show. Yeah. For me, it was the first generalized miss because I have enjoyed every other Marvel show, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, all of those. Thoroughly enjoyed them.
Agree.
Thought they were a lot of fun. Great nods, great winks, and Secret Invasion just didn't hit it for me.
Yeah, and the reason I brought it up is because
I did watch the whole thing.
The AI generated intro that they did. I was like, oh no, I really, this makes me. I think the goal was to make you uncomfortable. I at least hope, because I felt very uncomfortable watching it. But yeah, it was a little bit of a miss. Anyway, I'm sorry. So the next movie we're going to go into.
It's okay. I think that we probably had very unique, different experiences. My buddy and I showed up Thursday night for what online showed was a sold out showing of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. We walk in 3 minutes before the trailers are supposed to start to an empty theater.
Oh, did somebody buy it out?
No one showed up.
Wow.
It was me and my buddy. And the trailers played, and we're like, okay, someone's got to show up at some point. And then the movie started. I walked all the way down every aisle, just looking and looking. I did that like 3 or 4 times during the entire movie.
Wow.
No one showed up.
So somebody bought out the theater, but you guys happened to get the seats, or I don't know how
it
that
was
happens.
a glitch. What it is we went out and asked after, and they say that it's a glitch in the system that sometimes happens.
Gotcha.
And we were lucky enough to get 2 tickets before the system glitched and sold out the whole theater.
Interesting, because I heard that was happening for that movie.
Sounds of Freedom.
Sounds of Freedom. People were buying out the theater, and there was like nobody in there. But they're trying to drive up ticket sales, you know. But
Sure.
my mom asked me about that movie yesterday. She's like, "Have you seen that movie, Something of Freedom?" I was like, "No, you could not pay me money to watch that movie." And she's like, "Oh, my coworker said it was really good." I was like, "Okay."
I
have a couple of questions about your coworker, but we'll save that for later.
Here's a fun fact, and I might be off, I might not be off, and I read it on Twitter, so it has to be real.
Right.
But the one of the producers of the film was just arrested for things involving children.
Oh, great.
which is kind of what the movie is about.
Yeah.
What did you think of Dead Reckoning?
It was incredible. I had so much fun from start to finish. I go into Mission Impossible movies to shut off my brain, honestly. Like most movies, I want to figure out what's going to happen next. But those movies, it's like, it's just a roller coaster ride the whole time. And it doesn't matter where it goes. It's going to be ridiculous.
I do the same thing with the Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, that one I have a harder time shutting off my brain for. But I love...
You froze for a second. You're good now.
All right. So yeah, I go into those movies just really looking for some ridiculous stuff to happen, and this did not disappoint. You see it in the trailer where he jumps off the mountain and parachutes off of a bike. Just incredible. I like the trend. Are we talking spoilers at all in this?
Oh yeah,
this
go
like
for
a minor
it.
spoiler.
Yeah, all spoilers.
The trend of so in Guardians 3 when what's his name, the golden god guy, flies through the window and crashes in a rocket out of nowhere, kind of like a jump scare.
Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock crashes through the window and tackles Rocket, and he's like screaming. He kind of did that in this too, where he crashes through a window.
Oh, when they're on the train.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he did. I laughed so hard.
Like they're doing a Guardians thing here. That's cool.
Oh. Yeah, it's just so fun and so ridiculous that you just enjoy it for what it is. One of my favorite stories from Matt Damon is he was talking to Tom Cruise, and he was asking about the China stunt.
Right. And the dangling off the building, running on the
wall. And the first stunt man said, you can't do that. That's impossible. So he fired him and got another stunt man.
So I fired that stunt guy.
And the second stunt coordinator said it was good.
Just curious, did you hear that on the Smartless podcast with Matt Damon?
I have not.
Oh, okay. I just listened to that today. Matt Damon was a guest on Smartless with Will Arnett, Jason Bateman. It's like their podcast.
Okay.
And he told that story on there. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. I just listened to that.
I just saw it as a TikTok the other day, but I've heard it before. It's a great one.
It's a great story.
I'm excited for part 2.
Me too. I liked the addition of what's her name? Haley Atwell.
Sure, the blonde-haired lady from
Captain America. The
new one.
Yeah, I think she's from what's it called? Peggy Carter.
Was she? I don't know.
She's the one that played.
She was in Hobbs and Shaw. She plays Shaw's sister.
Gotcha. She was also in the What If show, the Marvel What If. She played, you know what? She was in, I know you hated this movie, but Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, she played Peggy Carter or whatever her name is in that one as well. I believe. I might be wrong.
Oh, you know what? I know exactly who you're talking about now. I was thinking of a different actress.
Were you thinking about Rebecca Ferguson?
I was thinking of the blonde girl that's the villain.
Gotcha.
The British one. That's who I was thinking of.
I also like that Mantis from Guardians was in Dead Reckoning as well. Yeah. She had kind of a cool role.
Yeah, she was. It was a lot of fun. What did you think of Haunted Mansion?
It was fun. I say that like it's a bad thing, like I'm about to say so that it was bad. I had a good time. The last act completely fell apart for me. I was kind of over it. I felt kind of like, all right, I'm ready to be off this ride now. It's kind of like overuse of CG. Just they kept throwing things. It was more and more and more and more and more. The first 2/3 of that movie were really good.
Sure.
I thought.
I enjoyed the whole ride.
Nice. I loved I loved everyone in it. Rosario Dawson was great. What's his name from
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to Bother You.
Fuck that movie.
I always forget his name. But yeah, they were all really great. Danny DeVito was fantastic.
Yeah,
him,
Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson was great.
Owen Wilson's always great.
Is it me or did Jamie Lee Curtis's accent kind of come and go?
Yeah, I just felt like she was. I don't know
why. Well,
Yeah.
It could have been anyone. I don't understand why it had to be Jamie. I think Jennifer Tilly would have been better, and I want to say Jennifer Tilly was Madame Leota in the original Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool.
Now it's so funny because this has nothing to do with anything, but on Facebook, I look up memories every day, and there are a lot of posts that I'll see from the past that'll either have no likes or like it'll say like 12 comments, and I'll go on and it's like 3 comments, and I'll just delete those. And one that came up the other day, and I always leave it because it makes me smile so much, is I went and saw the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and I really enjoyed it because I wasn't having any expectations, and I wasn't looking at it as a fan of the originals. I just enjoyed it for what it was. And I'll always laugh because my buddy Michael made a comment, like you and Case were making your comments.
Yeah.
And my buddy Mike did this big thing, like kind of at you, and then was like, "We had a blast," and had it all in caps.
Yeah, I can't really talk because I never saw that movie. I had no interest in seeing it.
Oh, I just recently rewatched it, and it's really not that good.
Yeah,
it's silly. It's silly for what it's a kid's film. That's exactly what it is. It's a movie meant for kids.
So you're talking about the Michael Bay one, right? He didn't direct it, but he produced it.
Yeah. I'm talking about the Bay.
I cannot stand the way the turtles look in those. I just really it offends me on a deep level. And going to our next movie we're going to talk about is the new Mutant Mayhem.
Yep, and that was my segue right into Mutant Mayhem.
Fantastic,
amazing.
That's how you make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. You make
God.
Oh, I went to an early screening of this, so I don't usually go to preview showings. But my friend has been, since we've been on AMC, a lot of people talk about, oh, you got to go to the preview nights. You got to go to the preview nights. And so we went to this one.
Preview night, would that be Thursday? Would that be Thursday night?
No, it was like 2 weeks before it came out. And so we actually went, it was an early screening, and they asked us questions afterwards. And my biggest thing was, because they were like, what specifically did you like about the movie? And I said, I loved that they were teenagers. It looked like it was a movie made by teenagers and with teenagers in the main roles. And it made the movie so much better. Like it made me feel like a kid again, Yeah,
100%. And I love, I'm going to pull it up real quick because one thing I love is a movie that has extensive voices. And because all of the main villains are all famous people, but some of them, it took me a second to figure out who was who. Like prime example, Rose Byrne was Leatherhead.
Yeah. Leatherhead, the alligator, right?
Yeah. My favorite of the kids though is Raphael of Brady Noon, who was on Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Oh, cool. I didn't see the new Mighty Ducks show, and I didn't know any of the names of the new turtles, but I think Mikey was probably my favorite, with a close second being Leonardo. But
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they were great, and I honestly loved. My favorite was Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko. That was so funny. I just love Paul Rudd. Yeah.
Oh my God, Paul. He was. Everybody was so good in all of their roles. Ice Cube, Paul Rudd, John Cena, and Seth Rogen as Bebop and Rocksteady, which I think is super funny because one of the Bebop and Rocksteadies in the second Michael Bay film was Sheamus, who is also a professional wrestler.
Ah, nice. Sometimes I forget that John Cena was a wrestler. And it's just, I always know The Rock was a wrestler. but like John Cena, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
Oh yeah, that guy was a big
He was
a big name.
huge. Not only, yeah, he was like a gigantic name in wrestling.
I'm so excited for the second film because it did very well in the box office, and at the end they tease us with Shredder.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that leads to a third that gives us like a solid Kang.
Yeah, I really am looking forward to them making 5 of these movies. You know, I will go see everyone.
I'm not gonna lie. The one thing that I did not, it's my only gripe on it, is in the original Turtles, Baxter is the Fly. He
Right.
he becomes the villain. I like how they did it. It was very well done. But with that, let's talk about movies that I saw back to back. And it's the proper title for what I saw first, and then what I am considering the best movie that I have seen all year. And that would be the first night of Thursday. I went and saw Greta Gerwig's Barbie.
Yeah, I saw this. I think so. The weekend of Comic-Con, I was at Comic-Con on Sunday all day, and it wasn't hot. This is the first time I've ever gone to Comic-Con. It wasn't blazing hot. It was like kind of rainy and cloudy. I spent all day at Comic-Con, went on, got on the train, and went and saw Barbie right afterwards. So that was a double-edged sword because I was so excited. I was like, oh yeah, I'm out and about. I'm going to go see Barbie. I was so tired that I was struggling to keep my eyes open throughout Barbie. And it wasn't the movie's fault. I was exhausted. I might have, I kind of shook myself awake a couple of times, and I definitely need to see the movie again. I enjoyed what I saw, though, what I remember seeing.
I feel so. It's so funny when it comes to stuff like this because I know everybody's minds work differently, but I was the only person that I heard chuckling / laughing, because I was very much laughing at the opening homage to Stanley Kubrick in 2001.
Oh, 2001. Yeah. That was great.
It was so good. And I'm sitting next to like a father who is there with his teenage son, his daughter, and his wife. And I am hearing nothing from this dude. And this dude is older than me. And I'm just like, I wanted to be like, do you not like I'm still like, does no one else like no cinema?
My problem with that was that it was part of one of the trailers that I had seen, so it was kind of spoiled for me. And I know that sucks when a movie when you see something fresh and it really surprises you and nobody else is surprised, like, oh yeah, we saw it in the trailer. It's kind of a bummer when that happens, but they got to get butts and seats, so they sometimes put that stuff in the trailers. And I, because I go to the movies so much, I see trailers over and over again.
Sure.
And this is kind of off topic, but I just saw Strays last night, and a lot of the jokes in that movie were ruined by the trailer. It was otherwise I thought it was really funny.
My wife is very much looking forward to seeing Strays.
I really had a good time, and I would have had a better time if I had gone in fresh and not seen the trailer 1,000 times.
Oh fuck, because that is one of the most. When I'm in the theaters and Stray would start playing, I would just pull my phone out because I sit in the back corner, so I'm not bothering anybody. And I just scroll my phone, and I just say, what else worse can happen? And I like hawk Brexit. Like I'm just like I'm hitting all the spots. I'm really excited. Blue Beetle came out tonight.
I've been seeing good things about it. I hope they do a Booster Gold movie after this. But who knows what DC's gonna do?
Sure. And with that, the next day after Barbie, so Barbie completely sold out. And my biggest pet peeve, because I'm just fucking ridiculous, is having to sit next to someone I do not know. When you go to AMC, they have the little 2-person seats, right? So who wants to sit like completely next to a stranger? And I ended up having to deal with that with Barbie. Woke up Friday morning, saw that the 6:00 showing of Oppenheimer that I was going to go and see wasn't completely sold out, but someone bought the seat right next to me. So I went right online and I was like, what do we got for 10 a.m.? And they had a 10 a.m. in a smaller theater, which I like, with no one in the back row. And I said, 10 a.m. it is.
Nice.
And so I went and caught a 10 a.m. of Oppenheimer. I got out somewhere around 1:30 p.m. It is the best goddamn movie I have seen all year.
Yeah, I loved it. My short list right now for my favorite movies of the year: Dungeons and Dragons, Beau is Afraid, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Mission Impossible, and Oppenheimer. Those are like
Wow.
this is like my short list of my favorite movies of the year. I might throw in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in there. I really like that one.
If I had to put together a list for me, it would be Super Mario Brothers,
Okay.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, The Flash.
The Flash is on your list?
Yeah, I really enjoyed The Flash.
Oh,
It's 5. It's
I
like
haven't
5.
seen it.
It's like 5. I have
Yeah.
the pass. And then Barbie and Oppenheimer. I think that's 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
The CGI in Flash is the drizzling shits.
Yeah, I've seen scenes and they're dreadful.
The stories for me, it's Keaton, man. They sold me with Keaton. And they could have just showed me one scene of Keaton. They didn't have to show me any. Bowie making a guest appearance on the podcast. It's cool. Bowie apparently has some words about the Flash.
He's mad about the PS2 graphics as well.
Sure, 100%. That's hilarious. And then, do you care about spoilers at all about that movie?
Not even one bit. I already know everything in that movie. I know the ending. I know the
George Clooney. I popped so hard for Clooney in the theater.
See, but
so hard.
I feel like that's the kind of it almost feels manipulative, like what they're doing with that, where it's just like, hey, remember this? Hey, it's like the member berries in South Park, rember, hey, y'all remember George Clooney?
But
I don't know. I have not seen it yet. I think it's on streaming now, right?
It's for rent. I don't know if it's for streaming.
When it's for free on streaming, I'm probably gonna check it out.
There you go. Because you can fast forward. Yeah, the beginning scene with the babies is fucking.
I saw the scene with the babies. I saw the scene with like Wonder Woman and Batman on the bridge, and I was like, "What the hell? Like, who wrote this shit, man?"
It's so funny.
It's
that's just top of the list. One movie that I forgot to bring up, Joyride. What did you think of Joyride?
I love Joyride.
I saw it twice in the theater.
I only saw it once, but I laughed so hard.
That was my first time hearing WAP.
You've never heard that song before?
Never heard that song before. And then they did it. The first time I was in tears. I was laughing so hard.
Yeah. Well, it's a modified version of WAP, right?
Sure. I'm yeah, but
fun fact, this isn't really a fun
fact.
For anyone,
what? I'm looking at the list. Take Flash out and I'll throw TMNT in because that movie was better.
That's really good.
And if you get the chance, check out The Blackening. Super funny.
Oh, I heard that was good.
It was. I did a double feature. I did Blackening and then I saw Flash.
I was gonna say, fun fact. I used to be part of a trivia team. Our name was Punani Dasani, which is a line in WAP.
Okay, there you go. I had a trivia team, and our name was Oedipus and the Mama's Boys.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
Good.
I got that from it's from PCU. It's a joke from PCU that I love PCU. I for years never really gave credit because people were like, that's hilarious, and I'm like, right? And I just
my trivia name now is Bowie's in Space or the By and the Curious when I'm with some friends.
The last one that we went with was Chalupa Batman. Our standing name was Chalupa Batman.
That's the name that's from the league?
It is from the league, CB. Yeah. I'm just finishing up the league. We're on the final season right now. But for me right now, Oppenheimer, 4 months left in the year. But Oppenheimer right now, top of the cake.
What did you like about it? What makes it your number one?
There was nothing. Okay, so every movie that we have talked about had moments where I wasn't necessarily paying attention to the movie. I would go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom once in Oppenheimer because I had to, and I was mad at myself that I had to leave the theater. That movie had me hooked from the moment it started to the moment it ended. from the cinematography to the acting to the design to the everything in that movie. It just kept my attention for the whole thing.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I luckily I was able to not take a bathroom break during Oppenheimer. I went to the midnight showing, the 70 millimeter. It was not 70 millimeter IMAX, but it was 70 millimeter,
Oh, I
which
fucking hate you.
I forgot how like nice it feels when you see actual film on screen, because there's like with digital, it's everything's perfect, right? Like everything's crisp and clear. With film, there's like a weird like warmness and like kind of like you can see the light kind of flickering a
You
bit
get the
and
burns. You get the
you get the
burn.
burns. I
Oh.
really enjoyed it in 70 millimeter. And
I
you
think
know,
I'd
as
honestly, I think I'd cry if I went and saw a film in any millimeter. I think I legitimately would cry when I heard the film actually start up in the booth and
yeah, I used to be a
oh,
projectionist. So
same,
so are you.
same.
You know, they don't really have projectionists anymore. It's just all automated,
Yeah,
and it's really sad.
it's a
Um,
dying art. It really is a dying art.
yeah, doing those changeovers, man, because we had these big, huge projectors. They were like steam engines, you know. And
Yeah,
yeah,
you had the three platter Christines. Yeah.
oh no, we had two platter.
Oh fuck! I don't even want to try and work with a two
It was
platter.
it was crazy.
No. Oh man. Well, that
Manual changeovers, pulling the slats down and like changing over the audio, flipping
oh,
switches.
that's too much for me. That's
Yeah.
my goodness, though. But as we wrap it up, coming to an end, uh, any movies that are coming out that you're
I
excited to see?
I want to talk a little bit more about Oppenheimer, if that's
Let's
okay.
yo
Because
fucking let's yeah no
yeah,
I'm
I didn't get to say what my thoughts of it were.
don't mind me.
I
I'm just an asshole. Yeah, whatever.
you're fine.
Tack.
As somebody who grew up in New Mexico, right? I did 2 summers in doing an internship at Los Alamos, um, at the Los Alamos National Labs, where most of this movie takes place, and just seeing New Mexico on this big screen and like the number one like blockbuster movie of the summer, other than Barbie, you know, it was really cool to see. They really did a good job recreating what it looked like there, and like I mean, obviously I wasn't there, but I'd see pictures on the walls everywhere, and we'd see all the history. I'd always hear about Los Alamos growing up, and it was really cool to see that. And they filmed it in New Mexico. They filmed it in Abreu, which is not quite near where Los Alamos is. Los Alamos is a little bit more in the mountains, a little bit more foresty, but it's a good stand-in. And dude, for a movie that takes place 90% in rooms, you know, there's a classroom, a boardroom, a courtroom.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's like, see this on the biggest screen possible, because there's only 1 or 2 scenes that are like mind-blowing, like in terms of that and
Oh,
sound.
those visuals when Cillian Murphy is having those visuals at the beginning of
Yeah,
the movie, and when his mind just starts going, man.
yeah.
Oh, that IMAX screen must be amazing.
Now I might be wrong, but I had heard that there are no CGI shots in this film. Everything was done practically with practical effects.
With
And like,
Christopher Nolan, I could 100% believe that.
and I was like, the whole time I was watching, I was like, how'd they do that? How'd they do that? How'd they do that? Which is like kind of what I go to movies to see. A lot of the times with these big movies, I want to sit there and be amazed. You know, I want to be in awe. And that's why I love it so much, because I felt awe the entire time. It didn't feel like 3 hours. It felt like I wanted more, you know?
Right? And I love all the actors that they had playing all of the roles. James Remar as the colonel, or the the guy that made the decision. He's like, oh, don't you know? And fun fact, not that a lot of people are very upset about the scene in general. But the Kyoto line about I had my honeymoon there
I'm honeymoon Kyoto.
wasn't a scripted line. That is
Yeah.
actual information that Remar like did on the information on the guy that he was playing.
Wow.
Um, and so yeah, not a scripted line. And even down to the guy that played Einstein. Like
Oh,
I
he was great.
loved, he was so good. Like the movie is just even Emily Blunt. We can go on. Like, the movie is just damn near perfection for me. Like,
Gary
I
Oldman as Harry S. Truman.
dude, when he came on, I laughed so hard in the theater.
I didn't recognize him at all until I went home. I looked it up. Who played Truman?
I
That was
recognized
Gary
him.
Oldman.
I'm not even gonna lie. That's why I was laughing so hard in the theater, because I was like, Nolan got Ullman in again.
Yeah.
Like it was so good for me. No, I really want to go see this movie.
I want to see it
before
again.
it leaves the theaters. But it doesn't feel like 3 hours, but it is 3.5 hours of your day.
It is. It's a big commitment.
It is, but it is 100% worth it, because once you get in the seat and once the lights go down, because here it is Nicole Kidman.
When the lights begin to dim, sound that I can feel. Heartbreak feels good in a place like
good
this.
In a place like this.
Where stories here feel perfect and powerful. Because here they are. I have that whole thing.
That's what it is. That's what it is, because here they are.
I have that whole thing memorized. Like every time she comes on the screen, I have to say it. Like it's impulsive.
I went to a movie where some guy made such a fucking stink. It started, and he was like, "Nope, not Nicole Kidman, not today." And just why? And everyone's like, "Come on!" He's like, "Nope, nope." Like I'm just like, get out of here. Like I did that with like the Endgame trailer, but I don't do it with Nicole Kidman.
No, Nicole. I was going to say,
anything you're looking forward to that's coming out?
Sorry, what was that?
But what were you going to say? Well, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Robert Downey Jr. was fantastic. I think he's going to win some Oscar. He has to. He was so good.
Best supporting.
Yeah,
sure. Best supporting.
100%. He's gonna get at least nominated. I hope he wins, because I did not see. First of all, like he was not even in the trailer. I did not even really realize he was like the main antagonist of the movie, and he just killed it. He was so good,
and he really just was. I saw a trailer where they had him in it, so I knew he was in it. But I'm such a fan of Robert Downey Jr. anyways.
Yeah.
That it was just an added bonus for what I was already excited for.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Like you go down the list of everyone in this movie, and it's just like, cannot believe. Of course, like Chris Nolan's going to get all these great people. But man, who was the guy that played Niels Bohr? That was oh man, he's in that new Hercule Poirot movie. He did like Death on the Nile. Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played Niels Bohr. There was like Jack Quaid was in there. Surprise out of nowhere, Mr. Robot.
So here we go. We got Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Alden
Ehrenbach.
Yep, him.
Han Solo.
We got Jason Clarke, Tony Gwynn. I was very surprised to see Tony Gwynn, because that guy doesn't do a lot that I remember.
Yeah.
You got Kenneth Branagh, and a bunch of other people who I don't think would necessarily be known. But the movie is just, oh my god,
this is going to be
so good.
Another JFK. It's going to be another JFK, where it's like this movie is going to tie a lot of people together in the game that we play together.
A lot of people.
Yeah, all you have to do is get to Robert Downey Jr. and you can get to anybody else.
A lot of other people. But that's just, I mean, in general, that just goes across the board with when you get a generalized director. Wes Anderson, you have a handful of actors. Christopher Nolan, Quentin Tarantino. You just have a handful of actors that are just always going to be, salt and peppered through there. I think this movie is going to sweep the Oscars.
Oh yeah, I can't see anything else really coming out this year that's gonna append it.
Yeah,
it was so good. I can't wait to watch it again. Honestly, like I'm surprised at myself that I have not watched it twice, because there's so many movies I've seen this year more than one time.
I saw Spider-Man 3 times.
I saw Spider-Man twice. I saw Guardians 3 times.
Oh wow.
I forget what else I saw multiple times, but I think it's just the time commitment because it's
Sure.
like, man, that's like a lot of time to like, because I leave my dog at
It's
home
three.
the whole time.
It's
I'm
3.5
Yeah,
hours.
it's just like you got to leave, get there.
Oh well, then it's the time getting there and getting back, so it's more than 3. Yeah,
It's
sure.
like
It's like 4
the
hours.
movie,
For me, it'd be like 4
the
hours.
theater's like right down the street from me, but it's still just such a pain, just thinking about like the time to do it. I'm already like seeing so many
Sure.
movies, like, and there's other movies I want to see, but I want to see this before it leaves theaters for sure.
I'm not even gonna lie. I only saw Spider-Man a third time because it was 80 something degrees in the house at 8:30 at
Yeah,
night, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm going to an air-conditioned
get out of
theater."
the house. Yeah.
100%, 100%. But as we do start wrapping up, coming to a close, anything coming out that you're excited for?
Oh boy. Trying to think. I mean, I saw Strays. I was looking forward to that. What else is coming out? I have to look at a list here.
Here, let's see here because I have a list here of all the trailers that play for the movies that I have seen. Let's see here. Gran Turismo is coming on
Don't
out.
care.
The Marvels is coming on
I'll see the
out.
Marvels.
A Haunting in Venice is coming on
Oh,
out.
that's the Kenneth Branagh one I was thinking of. Also, that because I didn't like the first one, Murder on the Orient Express, that he did.
Oh, I liked
I
that
didn't really
one.
like it because I liked the original a lot better. But the Death on the Nile I really liked, and so now I'm
Like that
excited
one.
for this one. For what's it called, Murder in
Uh,
Venice. Have
yep.
you seen the post
No, a
Haunting
haunting in
with
Venice.
Tina Fey? I was like, okay,
Oh, I'm always on for Tina Fey. I'm a big
and
fan. Dumb Money.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, that's the one about the GameStop's
Oh, yeah, actually, that
stock
looks pretty
thing.
good with Seth Rogen and what's his name that played the Riddler in the Batman?
Yeah, Paul
Paul
Dano.
Dano.
The Nun 2,
Yeah, I don't care.
Expendables
Don't
4,
care.
The New Hunger
Don't
Games,
care.
Migration.
Oh, you know what? That looked all right.
It looks
Yeah,
funny. Trolls 3,
don't care.
a movie that I think looks absolutely horrible, Wonka.
Oh, yeah. I don't.
No.
I'm not. I'm probably not going to see it.
So my big gripe with that movie is if this is supposed to be a prequel to Gene Wilder's Wonka, which you can say it's not, but when you start the trailer with one of the most iconic lines of "Strike that, reverse
Mhm.
it," comparisons already brought to the table.
Yeah,
I think the movie looks horrible.
it's an odd choice, especially to have what's his name as Oompa Loompas.
Oh,
Hugh
Hugh Grant.
Grant. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
that's
weird.
very strange. But I mean, it got a
Um,
laugh out of me because I was just in shock.
what's his name's new movie? Scorsese, Killers of the
Oh,
Flower Moon.
yes.
That looks really good.
That's gonna be great.
Um,
I'm gonna see that in theaters.
Priscilla, you got Sofia Coppola's next movie,
Okay, I
Priscilla.
have not heard of it.
It's about Priscilla Presley.
What's the one the director of Rogue One? Gareth Edwards, is that his name?
Yeah, I think that's his
He
name. He also did
he
Godzilla.
has a new movie coming out.
Oh, and there's a new Paw Patrol movie coming out.
God, that trailer's awful. I saw the trailer for the new
Awfully amazing.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
All right, let's talk about this. The Garth Edwards
Gareth Edwards
movie.
is coming out with a new movie called The Creator, and I've only seen
I haven't
the poster.
seen
It looks really cool. It kind of looks like Star Wars meets what was that movie called? Not Wall-E. The one with the robot and the Diant word was in it. Chappie.
Real
Chappie.
Steel? Oh, Chappie.
Yeah, it kind of look. I mean, I don't know if any trailers have come out for it yet, but it's got a lot of
I
people.
don't.
John David Washington is in it. Ken Watanabe, Allison Janney.
He uses Wanadabe and everything.
Yeah,
He does. He
he
really,
really
does. He was
does.
in all the Godzilla movies. Well, we got a lot of good movies that are coming on out. Ryan, I'm going to let you get going on with your night,
Sure.
but we are definitely going to have you coming back soon. I want to do a draft episode, And the next draft episode we do, you will definitely be a part
Cool.
of.
Yeah, I'm down. I liked the last time we did the movie soundtracks, and we got to argue about what is a movie soundtrack.
I mean, I don't know if I'd say that was a fun episode.
I was there.
For the downfall. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the last podcast we want, or last podcast you'd want. It's the last podcast I want right now. Ryan, thank you so much as always for coming on. And ladies and gentlemen, until next time, tip the veal, try the staff. We'll see you then.